Session 52. Good evening. I will not keep you this evening, for obvious reasons. My regrets to you, Robert, and my sympathy. I will go into the reasons for his trouble during our next session, as I do not believe he can bear up to it this evening. Rob said, "Hold it a second." They said, "Robert is not quite with me this evening because of his condition, and it was this conflict that was sent by your cat. Robert's condition is improving, however, and there is nothing to worry you here in any important manner, though Robert, of course, is most uncomfortable. In the interim, I have succeeded, as you might notice, in straightening him out to some degree. It is a beautiful evening. I regret that we cannot hold our session. Nevertheless, I suggest that Robert rest, and also rest tomorrow, as it will be most beneficial, and I will definitely go into the reasons for his condition. I myself am in fine form, and did have a very good session in mind. However, it will wait. I am eternally sorry that Robert feels so badly, and I will do what I can to help. My dear friends, I wish you a fond good evening, and may I mention briefly that you were right, Joseph. Your late experience with psychological time was most significant, and Robert had also turned in on the same conversation, but had already begun to tense and therefore was blocking every psychological stimulus in the hopes of blocking out the right one. Unfortunately, he blacked out all of these except the right one. Incidentally, the book that Robert was reading did have something to do with bringing on his condition, and involved a morbid fascination on his part, bringing out many old resentments. I will not keep you longer. The information will prove just as beneficial at a larger date. Again, a most fond good evening, and to Robert, I am sorry for the regrettable circumstances that make him unable to hold a session. You will be fine soon, my Ruby. Rob said, "Good night, Seth." They said, "I would add one brief note for Robert's edification. Surely he must be aware that his mother's characteristic pose in bed was one that necessitated a complete turning of the upper body, whenever she wished to look one way or the other, and that her neck, because of her arthritis, could not turn normally. With Robert, this involved an aping, or adoption, a symbolic attempt to become the hated object, and therefore to be free of any hatred that might be directed by that object toward Robert. Psychologically, you will find this principle quite sound. Symbolically, the fearful attempt to become part of the feared individual, and therefore escape the venom that might be directed outward. These feelings were rearoused by Robert's reading of the book, where childbirth was depicted as causing the mother great agony. Since Robert's mother had often spoken most vehemently of Robert's birth being a source of disease, that is, her arthritis and pain, subconsciously Robert feared on a basic level that his mother wished to punish him for causing her such pain. The right neck enabled Robert to identify with his mother, and therefore avoid such punishment. At the same time, the right neck itself inflicted a punishment in place of the imagined and feared greater punishment which Rupert felt his mother intended. The imagined punishment being a basic and infantile terror of being pulled back into the womb. If Rupert's mother had it to do over, she would not have had the child, and the child hidden within the result still feels that the mother actually has the power, even now, to force the child back into the womb and refuse to deliver it. I am giving this material now, rather than later, as I said I would, because I could tell that Rupert would clamp up on me, as far as this particular subject is concerned, after the pain was gone and the black piece of material. The psychological situations that give code to Rupert's mother's arthritis condition are not present in Rupert, and once and for all, he does not have to fear such a dilemma. Quite simply, arthritis, despite its being in his family, is not one of the diseases which will ever bother him. I am particularly gratified that I managed to get this material through. Now, I will leave you for the evening, having tricked Rupert into hearing the truth upon this matter. It's for your own good, Rupert. Ralph said, "Good night," says.